Achieving maximum broiler weight says 3 kg at week 5, that is at day 35, in every batch of broiler you raise is not luck. It is achievable. But there are certain things you must do before ordering your day-old chicks. In this video, I'll be showing you 10 things you must do before placing order for your day-old chicks in order to give your chicks a good start. Welcome to Farmbiz with Markay. In this channel, we show you how to maximize profit in farming through creativity. Now, the very first thing you do before your chicks arrive when you are planning to raise your broiler is to look around your pen and look for any area that needs to be fixed, like broken nets, a cracked floor, as the case may be. So you need to block all crevice or any hole that you perceive that rodent can follow into your pen. You need to block them. If there are any area you've not put net, you need to place net on those area and ensure that nothing can get it, no rodent or white bird can get into your pen. So the next thing you also do, you ensure that within that around that net there is free flow of air, that is, there is cross ventilation. If that is in place, the next thing you must do is to sweep and clean the floor properly, as well as the ceiling and the wall. Remove every form of cobweb, every form of dirt. You remove them, after which you wash and clean the floor with a detergent solution. Now you may need to soak the floor for some time so that any stubborn poo that refuse to leave the floor as a result of sweeping can be brushed off either with broom or brush. Now once that is done, the next thing you also need to do is to, after washing the floor and it has dried, the next thing you do is to disinfect the pen with a very good disinfectant. Now if you have been using your nipple drinkers to be raising your broilers for some time, now there are things you also need to do, which is one of the things you must do before your chicks arrive. Now the nipple line, that is the pipe you connect your nipple drinkers to, you need to flush it with chlorine. That is, there is this tablet which they call isoclose, something like that. Then you need to put boil some hot water, pour it inside the tank, then put some of this tablet inside that tank, and then open the outlet, and then open the outlet so that water can go in, that hot water can go into that pipe and remain there for some time before coming to open the outlet so that the whole water will flush out. Now you perceive the odor of this chlorine, so you need to flush the system. After this chlorinated water has been flushed out, you need to flush it severally so that odor of chlorine will not be perceived in the water coming out from the nipple. Now the essence of this is to kill some biofilm that might be built up in the pipe, so that they don't affect your chicks. So the purpose of placing this chlorine inside the hot water to flush the pipe is to ensure that the biofilm that might be built up in the pipe is completely destroyed before using it to raise your next batch. This is one of the things you also need to do before placing order for your new batch of day-old chicks to raise in the same pen using the same nipple drinkers. The next thing you do is to restrict access to that pen. That is, cover around the pen, the place where you want to do your brooding, carve it out, then cover it with either liner or tarpaulin, and restrict access into that pen. Very, very important. You restrict access to that pen. Don't allow anybody to enter in there. Now, after restricting access to the pen, you have to ensure you make room for your biosecurity, that is foot deep or foot bath, where whoever wants to enter into the pen can dip his or her foot before entering into the pen. So once this is in place, the next thing you also do before your chicks arrive is to go and source for good quality litters, beddings that you can use for your litters, for your brooding. Now some people opt for sawdust or wood shave, as the case may be. Whichever one is available at your disposal is what you should go for. But if you choose to use the sawdust, you need to cover it with either carton or newspaper, so that the chicks don't have access to it for the first few days. This is very, very important, because in order for them to be able to differentiate between feed and sawdust, you need to cover it with either carton or newspaper. Once this is done, another thing you also need to do before your chicks arrive is to ensure that the drinkers, the feeder is properly set up, is properly placed in the right position. Now, normally what I tell people, there are recommendations when you want to choose the number of feeders or drinkers you should use for your batch. For instance, it is recommended that you use one tray feeder to about 30 chicks. But in my own case, I don't normally do that. Now, I always try to ensure that every chicks has access to feed at all time. In that case, I reduce this number from 30 to about 20 per tray feeder. So I have more than enough tray feeder in the pen so that they don't struggle for feed, as well as drinker. Now, it is recommended that for drinkers, like this 3 liters drinker is recommended for 50 chicks. But in my case, again, I assume 3 liters drinkers to 25 chicks. Now, though I normally make use of these manual drinkers for the first first 1 or 2 days, after which I remove them, because I have the bed drinkers as well as the nipple drinkers, and they enjoy drinking from nipple drinker as well as the bed drinkers. So you just need to ensure that you lift it up the floor a little, at least to the back level of the chicks, so that they don't jump into it easily, so that they don't mess it up easily, especially the bed drinker and the manual drinkers. Now, you will need to also adjust the nipple drinkers to the eye level, or a little above the eye level of the chicks, so that they can peck on it easily. This is because if it's too low, the floor will be wet, because as they peck on it, much water will be dripping on the floor, and this will not be good for your brooder. Very, very important. Now, for the nipple drinkers, in case you want to use nipple drinkers for your brooding, now I normally assume 10 chicks to 1 nipple drinker. 10 chicks to 1 nipple drinker. But though the recommendation is above this, some people recommend 20 chicks per nipple drinkers, some people recommend 25 chicks per nipple drinkers, but I don't want them to struggle for resources during this period. I don't want it. So what I do, I ensure there is more than enough nipple drinkers for them to drink from. That is the essence why I also add the manual drinkers as well as the bed drinkers, so that they don't need to travel far before they can have access to drinking water. This is also very, very important. Now, before your chicks arrive, also you also need to put your water source in place. Test all the system to be sure that everything is working well. Is your water system, the nipples, is water coming out from them? You need to tap on them to be sure that there is nothing obstructing the flow of water from the nipples as well as the bed drinkers. Now, after setting up the drinkers, the feeders, the bedding materials and all of that, remember this time you restrict access to the pen. Very, very important to maintain good biosecurity. Now, the next thing you do is your heating source, because your chicks, they need heat higher than their body temperature for the first few days, if not up to 1 week. This is very, very important. The temperature they need from that very first few days is about 32 to 35 degrees centigrade. This is very important. You need to provide heat source to provide this heat for them. Some people make use of charcoal as their heat source. Some people kerosene stove. Some other ones make use of gas brooder. Like in my case, I enjoy using gas brooder. I prefer gas brooder to any other form of heat source. This is because of the convenience, the ease of use and all of that. So after setting up the heat source, another important thing you also need to do is to set up your lighting point. Now, the place needs to be bright enough. Your brooder needs to be bright enough for your chicks to be able to see the drinkers as well as the feed to eat and drink from. This is also very, very important, because as soon as you cover the place with tarpaulin or nylon, the whole place will be dark, even during the daytime. So ensure there is light in the brooder 24/7, so that your chicks, because for these first few weeks, your chicks need to be eating 24/7, so that that they will gain that weight, which is your target weight at that week 5 or week 6. This is also very, very important. It's one of the major things you need to do before your chicks arrival. If you find this video helpful, kindly do well to hit the subscribe button, like and comment in the comment section below, as this will do a whole lot for us in helping us to grow our channel and reach a larger audience. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.